Welcome to my channel. Listen to my stories every day. Comment, like and subscribe to my channel. Enjoy listening. Rain pelts the city in waves, a monochrome blur visible from the misted windows of the bus as it rattles down Elm Street. I tug the sleeve of my coat, still damp from the hurried dash to the bus stop. Today I'm home 2 hours earlier than usual, a rare reprieve granted by my boss who had to close the office for emergency maintenance. The bus squeaks to a stop at my usual disembarkation point. With a brief nod to the driver, whose eyes barely flick up from his newspaper, I step out into the chilling embrace of the evening rain. As I walk the familiar path home, the patter of raindrops on my umbrella forms a rhythmic soundtrack to the churning thoughts in my mind. There's an unexpected lightness in my steps. A surprise dinner with Eliza, my wife of 7 years, seems like the perfect end to this dreary day. I imagine her smile, the way her eyes light up when I do something out of the ordinary. It fuels my pace, and soon I'm at our front door, fumbling with my keys, the rain forming little rivers down the back of my neck. The house is quiet as I step inside. The usual sounds of life are oddly muted. No television chatter, no clatter of dishes. I hang my coat and decide against calling out a surprise is a surprise after all. Softly, I tread through the dim hallway towards our bedroom, the only source of light in the gloomy evening. The door is ajar, and through the sliver of openness, I see Eliza. She's sitting on the edge of our bed, phone pressed to her ear, her posture tense. Curiosity prickling at the back of my neck, I pause, straining to hear over the sound of my own heartbeat. No, I can't. It's not that simple, she whispers, her voice a tangle of emotion. I miss you too, and love you. Her words slice through the air, a sharp, unexpected pain stabbing at my chest. She hasn't heard me come in. She's crying now, soft sobs that she muffles with her free hand. I stand frozen, the hallway suddenly feeling colder, narrower. Who is she talking to? Who does she miss? Who does she love? The questions swirl in my mind like the storm outside. A surge of anger wells within me, hot and fierce. I want to burst in, to demand answers, but something holds me back. The shock, the disbelief, the part of me that still hopes there's some explanation that doesn't fracture the life we've built together. Instead, I retreat silently, my heart pounding a fierce rhythm against my ribs. I need a moment, need to think, need to breathe. In the kitchen, I lean against the cold counter, the darkness outside mirrored by the storm within me. Revenge, a dark, treacherous path whispers to me from the shadows of my thoughts. Betrayal, whether real or perceived, demands retribution. My mind races, plotting, planning. I decide with a cold, detached clarity that I must act. But how? What form should my vengeance take? The sound of Eliza hanging up the phone drifts to me from the hallway. My time is running out to decide. For now I must play the unsuspecting husband, a role that suddenly feels alien to me. I straighten, wipe the rain from my face, and prepare a mask of normalcy. Tonight I will observe, listen, and learn. But soon I will make her regret her words. Tonight is just the beginning. Dinner passes in a haze, every forkful of food a tasteless chore. Eliza is animated, more so than usual, filling the silence with chatter about her day, her work, her friends. I nod, smile, respond at the right moments, but my mind is elsewhere, caught in a loop of her whispered confession. The warmth of the room, the rich smell of roasted chicken, none of it reaches me. As we clear the dishes, there's a knock at the door. Surprised, I glance at Eliza. Her face loses color, a flicker of panic before she masks it with a puzzled smile. I wonder who that could be at this hour, she muses aloud, but her voice is strained. I open the door to find Jack, my best friend since college, standing in the rain. His usual cheerful demeanor is absent, replaced by a somber tightness around his eyes. He holds up a six-pack, a peace offering. "Thought you could use some company, man," he says, stepping inside without waiting for an invitation. His glance flickers to Eliza and back to me, an unspoken question in his eyes. Eliza excuses herself, retreating to the bedroom under the pretense of an early conference call preparation. Once she's out of earshot, Jack's expression turns serious. "Listen, Mike, I didn't just come here to drink," he begins, lowering his voice. "I think you should know something important. It's about Eliza." The room tilts slightly as I brace myself against the counter. What about her? Jack hesitates, then plunges ahead. I've seen her around town a few times, not alone. At first I thought it was nothing, just friends or colleagues, but today I saw her with someone at the cafe. They were close, too close. It didn't seem right, and I thought you should know. The revelation hits like a second betrayal. Not just from Eliza, but from Jack too, withholding this until now. Anger and hurt mingle with a sinking realization. Why didn't you tell me sooner? My voice is a low growl, barely controlled. Jack runs a hand through his soaked hair. I wasn't sure, man. I didn't want to stir up trouble if I was wrong. We sit in silence, the only sound the steady tap of rain against the windows. My mind races, piecing together fragments of doubt and suspicion into a coherent picture of betrayal. Who is he, Jack? Did you see who it was? Jack shakes his head. I didn't get a good look at him, but it's not just anyone, Mike. I think it's someone she knows well, someone she trusts. The weight of his words anchors me to my spot. Trust. A fragile, precious thing, now shattered. I need to see it for myself, need undeniable proof before I confront her. Will you help me find out more? Of course, Jack replies, his voice firm. We'll figure this out together. As the plan takes shape, I feel a cold resolve settling over me. I will uncover the truth, no matter how painful. Jack agrees to follow her tomorrow, to gather whatever information he can. When Eliza returns, her smile is cautious, eyes scanning both of us for signs of the storm inside me. I force a smile, pushing down the turmoil, playing the part she expects. As the evening wears on, I'm a spectator in my own life, watching the scenes unfold with a detached curiosity. Who is this woman I married? How far will I go to uncover the truth? The questions multiply, each one a step further into the darkness that now stretches out before me. This is just the beginning, and the path ahead promises only more shadows. The next morning dawns gray and cold, the storm clouds lingering as if mirroring my mood. Eliza is already gone by the time I wake, a hastily scribbled note on the kitchen counter informing me of an early meeting. I read the note twice, searching for hidden meanings in her neat handwriting, but find nothing. Jack arrives a little after 9, looking as tense as I feel. We sit in the living room, a silent agreement to avoid any pleasantries. Today we need answers. She left early, I tell him, showing him the note. He nods. We'll start at her office. Follow her from there. We drive to her office in silence. The building looms ahead, a stark, modern structure of glass and steel. I park a block away, my hands gripping the steering wheel tightly. Jack, ever the strategist, pulls out a small camera and hands it to me. For evidence, he explains. We need to be sure. From the car, we watch the entrance. The minutes tick by, each one an eternity. Finally, Eliza emerges, walking briskly, her phone clutched in one hand. We follow at a distance, my heart pounding with each step. She moves with purpose, turning down side streets until she reaches a small cafe tucked away from the main road. Jack and I exchange a glance. This is it. Inside the cafe, Eliza takes a seat by the window, her back to us. We slip in quietly, finding a table obscured by a large potted plant. My heart races as I see her scan the room, looking for someone. Minutes later, a man walks in, tall, well-dressed, with a confident stride. He spots Eliza and smiles, a smile that feels too familiar. He sits opposite her, and they lean in close, their conversation lost in the hum of the cafe. I pull out the camera, snapping a few discreet photos, capturing their intimate body language, the way their hands almost touch across the table. Jack nudges me, his expression grave. We need to hear them. He points to a nearby table that's closer, but more exposed. Reluctantly, we make our move, each step feeling like a march to an inevitable confrontation. We sit down, pretending to peruse the menu, ears straining to catch snippets of their conversation. Keep doing this, Eliza says, her voice low and filled with tension. Mike will find out. The man reaches across the table, taking her hand in his. We'll figure it out, Eliza. We always do. My grip tightens on the menu, the edges crumpling under the pressure. I feel Jack's hand on my arm, a silent reminder to stay calm, to gather evidence. Eliza pulls her hand away, glancing around nervously. I can't just leave him. Not yet. You don't have to, the man soothes. We'll take it slow, but remember, I love you. The words are a dagger to my chest, each one twisting deeper. I snap another photo, the final piece of evidence I need. Jack's expression mirrors my own turmoil, a mix of anger and sorrow. We leave the cafe as quietly as we came, the weight of the truth heavy on our shoulders. Back in the car, I finally let the mask slip, my emotions boiling over. I need to know who he is, I say, my voice raw. Jack nods, determination hardening his features. We will. Let's dig into her phone records, her emails. There has to be more. The rest of the day is spent in a haze of investigation. We scour through phone bills, looking for repeated numbers. We hack into her email, finding exchanges that are too personal, too intimate to be mere professional correspondence. The name finally surfaces: David. A coworker, one she mentioned in passing but never in detail. The pieces fall into place, each one a blow to my already fractured heart. By evening, we have a dossier of evidence, each piece more damning than the last. Jack looks at me, his expression weary but resolute. What now? I stare at the photos spread out before me, a cold, hard resolve settling in. We confront her. Tonight. Eliza arrives home late, looking harried. She finds me in the living room, Jack standing silently by the door. Her eyes flick between us, sensing the tension. Mike? What's going on? I hold up the photos, letting them speak for themselves. Her face drains of color, her composure crumbling in an instant. Who is he? Eliza, my voice is steady, but the anger simmers beneath. She stares at the photos, tears welling in her eyes. It's not what you think, Mike. Don't lie to me, I snap, my patience gone. I followed you. I saw you with him. She breaks down, sobbing, the truth spilling out in broken fragments. His name is David. It just happened. I didn't mean for it to go this far. Jack steps forward, his voice calm but firm. Why, Eliza? Why betray Mike like this? She looks at me, her eyes pleading. I was lonely, Mike. You were always working, always busy. I felt invisible. Her words cut deep, but they don't excuse her actions. We could have worked on it, together. But you chose to lie, to cheat. Eliza collapses into a chair, defeated. I know. I'm sorry, Mike. I'm so sorry. The room is silent, the storm outside a distant echo of the turmoil within. I feel a strange sense of calm, the clarity of knowing what must be done. Leave, Eliza, I say quietly. Pack your things and go. We're done. She nods, tears streaming down her face, and retreats to the bedroom. Jack watches her go, then turns to me. You did the right thing, Mike. I nod, though the victory feels hollow. The path ahead is uncertain, but for now I've taken the first step. The shadows may still loom, but I'm ready to face them, one by one. Eliza's departure leaves the house eerily quiet. Jack stays with me for a while, offering support in the form of silence and shared drinks. The rain outside has finally stopped, but the weight of the recent events lingers, heavy and oppressive. Are you going to be okay? Jack asks, breaking the silence. I nod, though the truth is I'm not sure. I need some time. But thanks for being here. Jack gives a supportive squeeze on my shoulder before he leaves. Once alone, I wander through the house, each room echoing with memories of a life that now feels distant. I settle in the living room, the photos of Eliza and David spread out on the coffee table. As I sift through them, my phone buzzes. It's a message from an unknown number. Meet me at the old pier. Midnight. A chill runs down my spine. I have no idea who it could be, but curiosity and a desire for closure drive me to respond. Who is this? No reply comes. I glance at the clock, it's almost midnight. The old pier is only a short drive away. After everything that's happened, a little more intrigue seems fitting. Grabbing my coat, I head out into the night. The drive is quick, the streets deserted. The old pier looms ahead, a relic from a bygone era, now abandoned and forgotten. I park and step out, the cool night air filled with the scent of the sea. As I walk towards the end of the pier, a figure emerges from the shadows. "Mike," the figure calls out. The voice is familiar, yet I can't place it. "Who's there?" I demand, my pulse quickening. The figure steps into the moonlight. It's David, the man from the photos. Anger flares within me, but his presence here, at this hour, raises more questions than it answers. "What do you want?" I ask, my voice cold. David holds up his hands in a gesture of peace. "I'm not here to fight. I need to tell you something. About Eliza." "Why should I listen to you?" I snap. "Because it's not what you think," he says urgently. "She didn't betray you. Not really." The audacity of his words stuns me. "You expect me to believe that?" David takes a step closer, his eyes pleading. "Listen to me. We were working together on something important, something dangerous. It started as a project at work, but it became much more. We discovered a conspiracy within our company, something that puts lives at risk. Eliza and I have been gathering evidence, trying to expose it." His words seem outlandish, but there's a ring of truth to his desperation. "Why didn't she tell me?" "She wanted to, but the people involved are powerful, dangerous. We couldn't risk it. That's why she had to act distant, why she had to keep you in the dark. For your safety." The pieces of the puzzle start to shift, forming a new picture. "You're saying this whole affair was a cover?" "Yes," David nods. "It was the only way to keep you from becoming a target." I'm torn between anger and a reluctant understanding. "Why tell me now?" "Because we have enough evidence now. We're going public tomorrow. But Eliza's in danger. They found out she's been investigating. I need your help to protect her." The enormity of the situation hits me. Eliza, the woman I thought had betrayed me, has been risking her life to uncover a dark truth. Where is she? "She's at our safe house, but it's not safe anymore. We need to get her out tonight." I hesitate, but the thought of Eliza in danger propels me into action. "Let's go." We drive through the night, David giving directions. The safe house is a small, nondescript building on the outskirts of town. As we approach, the sense of urgency heightens. Lights are on inside, shadows moving quickly. We burst through the door to find Eliza frantically packing. Relief floods her face when she sees me. "Mike." "Eliza," I say, rushing to her side. "David told me everything." But she looks at David, then back at me. "I'm so sorry, Mike. I wanted to tell you, but it was too dangerous." "We don't have time for this," David interrupts. "We need to move." Just then, the sound of a car engine roars outside. David peers through the window. "They're here. We need to leave now." We scramble out the back, slipping into the cover of night. The next few minutes are a blur of running and hiding, adrenaline driving us forward. We finally reach David's car, and he speeds off, leaving the danger behind. In the safety of the moving car, Eliza turns to me, her eyes filled with tears. "Mike, I never meant to hurt you. Everything I did was to protect you." I take her hand, squeezing it tightly. "I know, and we'll face this together." David drives us to a new location, a more secure safe house provided by a trusted ally. As we settle in, the tension starts to ease. We sit together, the three of us, planning the next steps. The conspiracy will be exposed, and justice will be served. The dawn breaks, bringing a new day and new hope. As the sun rises, I look at Eliza, her face tired but determined. We've been through a storm, but we've emerged stronger, with a new purpose. In the end, the shadows that loomed over us have been dispelled by the light of truth. And though the path ahead is uncertain, we face it together, ready for whatever comes next.